So simply be as you are. No need to know what you are. No need to define yourself in any way. And no need to define your experience in any way. Simply be as you are. Notice sensations within your body. Whatever sounds may appear to you. Whichever way your body appears to you right now. Letting it be without interfering. Letting your experience be without interfering. Without trying to define it or classify it or evaluate it. Notice how awareness is effortless. Notice that awareness is, in fact, your experience in this moment. And that there is nothing that anyone needs to do. There's nothing that you need to do to be aware. There is nothing between you and your experience. There is nothing solid. There are no sides, this side and that side in your experience. There is no such thing. Notice how awareness, which is your experience this moment, is transparent. Meaning there are no borders anywhere. We are all equally aware this moment. Without any effort, without any doership, without any doing. Awareness is. That is, in fact, your experience, this moment. Nothing that you need to do in order to hear these words, or notice the breath, or notice the sensation of your feet on the ground. There is no one doing anything, no separate self doing anything, and yet awareness is. And what you refer to as I is this awareness, knowing itself as the reality of experience. I know I am, whatever that is, whatever that means. I know I am beyond any doubt. And I know that the I that is in this moment is not different from the business of my experience. The I that is right now, this aware presence, is not different from the perception, is not separate from the perception. In this moment, it is not separate from the hearing in this moment. And yet, the hearing comes and goes. The I am awareness does not come and go. It remains as it is, this transparent presence. So there is no need to maintain the belief that I awareness come and go with the coming and going of experience. There is no evidence for you to assume and maintain the belief that awareness, the reality of your experience right now, comes and goes with the coming and going of the body, or with the coming and going of the world. That is a belief that is not based on your experience. Your experience is eternal amness, I am, beingness, this moment, whatever appears to you. The reality of this appearance is I. Outside of I, in the absence of I, what would your experience be? What appears and disappears to you, your thoughts, perceptions, sensations. They are like the reflections of the sunshine on the surface of the pond. They are like the flight of a flock of birds in the sky. They appear to you like the sound of these words appears to you out of this present moment, out of this presence. You perceive through the body-mind. But it is not the body-mind which perceives. It is you. And this you, which is awareness, is unborn, uncreated. Is not the result of any chemical reaction or biological reaction. The body is a result of some biological reaction. But awareness is not the result of anything. It is its own cause. The reflections that you perceive on the surface of the pond are the expression of the sunlight, the sun. Similarly, your experience, whatever you perceive, whatever thoughts appear to you, whatever sensations appear to you, they arise out of consciousness, out of awareness, out of that which is eternal, which is not in time. You experience at times unhappiness because you believe yourself to be a phenomenal event in time and space. You imagine yourself to be somebody made out of flesh and bones that can be hurt, that can be wounded, that can experience loss and gain. That's a wrong model. In going directly to your experience right now, this moment, you can come to the understanding, direct understanding that you are this transparent presence, not an object, not something that appears to you. You are not something which appears and disappears. But you are this transparent presence, this infinite, invisible reality. You never cease to be that. You have never been anything other than that. In spite of all the beliefs and thoughts and feelings that you have experienced, you remain awareness. You remain the reality of awareness, consciousness. And you experience a sense of gain and loss because you imagine yourself to be a body. You imagine others. You imagine that there is something at stake for somebody. And so you seek peace and happiness in the world, overlooking your true nature, overlooking the reality of consciousness, which is causeless peace and happiness. But when you seek in the world peace and happiness, you already have assumed unhappiness because you've assumed yourself to be a mortal body-mind. And as a mortal body-mind, you already are unhappy. And as long as that assumption is on board, the wheel of samsara, the spin of life and death, keeps haunting you. The illusion of mortality, the angst of separation. Are not your destiny. You have available to you 24/7. Available to you is this transparent presence. You are that. Your very self is available to you 24/7. Not the thoughts about me, my past, my future, what's going to happen to me. That we already know. It's the rodeo. Why the rodeo? Why not this transparent presence, moment by moment, a fresh moment of transparency, of being, of intimacy, of not knowing, being, not knowing. nothing to protect, nothing to safeguard. Nothing to fix, to adjust, nothing to seek, nothing to pursue. The recognition, this recognition is available to us because it is that which we are, that which I am, that which is. So any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. Just a little sentiment. Just a little bit over a year ago, I met you, and it was really beautiful. And I just a little nothingness for the gift of life.
Oh, lovely meeting, Holger.
So you never know when and why things are happening.
Yes, right, yes. Yes. There is a meeting and there is a meeting, and there is a, sometimes you meet, but it's like, but there are some meetings that have a significance somehow, you know. You know, we're bound along our journey to meet. Bound, it's inevitable. And not initially, but in time, in our meetings, we forget who we are. We become like children. That's a beautiful friendship. It's maybe that's the true meaning of friendship. Of course, there is friendship around people who like to play bridge together. It's also a deeper friendship. And the love, which is really beautiful because it extends, you know, it extends to everyone and everywhere. This sort of openness. It's nothing special, it's just how consciousness is, what our reality is. It's this openness. Void of any hiding place. There's no one to hide and no need to hide, you know.
It's so interesting, the consistency in the peace, in the harmony. It's always there, but at the same time, everything is always changing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, the changing is just one could say, a movement of the changeless. So the changing doesn't change the changeless. The changing doesn't refer to the changeless. So in time, the changing becomes less and less significant, because the changeless comes to the forefront. And the changing is no longer, it's noticed, but maybe it is noticed, maybe it's not. It's like when you first move into a new home, the changing is loud. You notice everything, this and that. In this drawer, there are spoons. In that drawer are the spatulas, and the pots are here. This closet, this and that. You know, it's the changing, the phenomenal. It has a lot of significance, but in time, without thinking, you open the drawer, you grab a spoon, you know which drawer it is, without even so I do not change. How could consciousness or awareness change? It's the reality that perceives, that is. The reality cannot change, does not change. There's no change within. From the perspective of the wave, yeah, oh, I was a big wave, now I'm a small wave, now I'm no longer a wave. But from the perspective of the ocean, it's all the ocean. So the key thing is the understanding that I is in the core of your experience. This moment and every moment is I. And this I is this transparent presence. It's the same I within all body minds, which is this transparent awareness. Everything that appears to I. It appears within this transparent awareness. But the I doesn't change in any way. And that's so beautiful. The causeless peace of being. So in meeting, you know, we meet a friend and in time we recognize ourselves as the other as myself. There's an understanding, and then life is our laboratory to establish this understanding in our way of living, thinking, behaving, listening, talking, being. And friendship remains. Yes. And thank you for your help with posting all the YouTube clips. Thank you, Holger. Any questions? Hey, George. Are you muted? Let me see. Maybe you need to unmute yourself, no? Am I doing something here? Let me see.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It said the host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves.
So, I don't know. Okay, so I clicked as to unmute. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for raising your hand. I noticed that.
Okay, thank you. You talked about the assumption of being a mortal body-mind. And I have the full understanding that I am not a mortal body-mind. Unfortunately, I still have this feeling of being a body. That is, the feeling of the body is just so compelling that I somehow can't separate that body there from what I think myself to be.
Who has this feeling?
Well, the only person who could have a feeling would be I. Well, let me put it this way. You talk about a feeling. There are two aspects of a feeling. One is a thought, and a second is a body sensation or an emotion. So as to who has the thought, it seems the separate self must have. I don't know who. Let me be honest with you. I don't know who has that thought.
Okay. What do you mean?
I don't know who has that feeling.
What do you mean by have?
Okay, very, very great question. So let me look in my experience and see what's really going on here. Well, I know I have bodily sensations. We all have those.
What do you mean by have? I have a bodily sensation. What do you mean by
I perceive.
Oh, okay.
Perceptions.
Okay.
Thank you. Just taking time. So there are perceptions. There are bodily perceptions. No doubt about that.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it. Somehow those bodily perceptions are somehow different from the mind, from the perceptions I have of thoughts, or perceptions I have from vision, or perceptions I have from hearing. Somehow those bodily sensations, I know rationally they're all the same, okay? They're just sensations. But somehow those bodily sensations seem so compelling. I don't know how else to say this.
Compelling in what way? Like,
okay,
there is a sensation, and he's saying some sensations are compelling.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I'm not sure what I'm saying, is that they seem to produce what I would call the experience, though it's not a real experience, that I am the body. Now, I can't.
A thought or a sensation appears to you, and it evokes in you, I am the body.
Right, not just one sensation, but a whole bunch of sensations. They invoke the belief that I am the body.
You experience one sensation at a time.
Yeah, but they're coming all, yes.
So you experience a sensation, and this sensation triggers, I am the body.
Exactly.
Now, this I am the body, is that a thought or another sensation?
It has to be a thought because it's not a sensation.
Okay, so there is a sensation that appears to you, sensation X. And this sensation, then it goes away and there is a thought, I am a body.
Yes, but there's also sensation X, Y, Z, and whole bunches of such sensations.
Wait.
Yes, okay.
We're experiencing one sensation at a time.
Okay.
The sensation X appears to you, then thought X appears to you. The sensation is whatever it is. The thought says, I am a body.
Right.
Okay, and then what's next?
What's next is I believe the thought, which is just another thought.
Okay, then there is a thought that believes the thought. Okay, and what's next?
Well, what's next is the concurrent suffering of believing myself to be a mortal body. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so what's next is fear.
Is what?
Fear of bodily damage, bodily harm,
Okay.
not severe bodily harm. Like I'm 81 years old and my body is going to go sometime soon. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So fear arises, which is another sensation.
Right.
So, okay, we had sensation X, thought X, then sensation Y, and then thought Y, and sensation B, and thought B. That's what you're describing, right? You're describing a stream of thoughts and sensations.
Right.
This stream of thoughts and sensations, okay, they're appearing to you, right?
Yes.
Like right now, this perception is appearing to you.
Right.
Okay, now imagine now that there is a thought that arises to you that says, I don't want this. I don't want this, whatever, I don't want this.
Right. I have that thought frequently. Yes.
Now that thought, I don't want this, is going to go away, and the sensation is going to arise, I don't want this. The sensation that reflects the thought is going to arise to you.
Right.
And that's what we call suffering, or resistance.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, right. I mean, basically, when you say, I know that I am consciousness, you are saying it too quickly.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Saying it, but you're not fully convinced. There still is within you a certain doubt, but well, yes, I am consciousness. Yes, I am transparent. Yes, I am not a form. I am not an object, but also I am George. My body is 80 years old. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but so it's you're not fully convinced. You're not fully certain to yourself, because it has nothing to do with yourself.
That's accurate. Yes.
But that in fact you are transparent. That you are this infinite invisible awareness.
Right. It's almost like I want to believe that.
You still have a belief that the body is a reality. There is a separate reality called the body. Yes, I agree. Consciousness is real. Awareness is real. But there is also a sub-reality or another reality, which is my body, right?
Right. A sub-reality. Yes. Right.
Sub-reality. You cannot have a sub-reality to reality, because if there is a sub-reality to the reality, then it's part of that reality. It is one reality. So I take back the word sub-reality. You believe in a separate reality. It is a separate reality, a fully separate, completely separate reality.
Yeah, I don't want to admit that, but that's true. Yes.
Is my body. Well, okay, you need to examine that, George. How can there be examine the belief that there can be two realities? Okay. Secondly, question yourself. Okay, question. If you come to clarity that it cannot be reality, then two realities, and question which one is real. In my experience, investigate for yourself to come to clarity which one is real. First, you have to be clear that there cannot be two realities.
When you say two realities, I mean, I can see that there's one reality, but that one reality includes many things. And it seems that that one reality includes my body.
Okay, now this one reality is what?
Call it whatever you will. I don't know. There's one reality.
What is the reality in your experience right now? It's awareness, right?
Yes.
You're hesitant. You're saying
No.
yes.
No, I understand. I'm trying to look and see. You know, there's awareness here. There's no doubt. There's awareness here.
Is there a body here?
It seems that there is. Okay.
Imagine that you are right now on a psychedelic trip. The psychedelic trip started 50,000 years ago.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And the psychedelic trip is now you're perceiving this perception. It's part of the hallucination, or part of the hypnosis.
Okay.
So it could be that there is a possibility, no matter how remote it is, that this perception you're having and this quote unquote body that you're experiencing is a hallucination. It's a possibility, a remote possibility, but it's a possibility. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. But although this could be a hallucination, this appearance, this body, these thoughts, hearing these words could be a hallucination, there is a reality that perceives this hallucination. There is a reality to it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So just based on that argument, if you really contemplate that argument, you will come, let's say you may come, I think you will come to the conclusion that there is a reality, but the reality, just based on that one argument that I just heard right now, cannot be this body, cannot be this experience, because there is a remote chance that this perception could be a hallucination. The reality, therefore, of this perception cannot be the perception itself. It has to be something else, which I refer to awareness or consciousness or presence or being or reality. I use the term reality. So the reality of the perception, at best, the reality of the perception would be the reality of that which perceives it. Let me repeat that. At best, the reality of the perception would be the reality of that which perceives it.
Yes, the perception cannot be any more real than the reality, than what perceives it.
Yes.
That's clear, yes.
So therefore, well, the buck has got to stop somewhere. So the buck stops at the reality, that one reality, which I refer to as that which perceives, or the reality of consciousness. You don't have to use these terms. If these words are a problem, just stick.
No, they're not a problem. It's fine. Okay.
Right. So therefore, if you do consider those arguments, you could not say with certainty that there is a reality and it's made out of things, because a hallucination is not a thing.
I can't say, yeah, you're right. I can't say that with certainty. There's almost nothing I can say with certainty.
When you are sleeping and dreaming, and you are certain that there are pink flying elephants that are flying.
Right.
and you're certain of that, but upon the reflection about that which appears and the reality which perceives that which appears, upon that reflection, you will come to the conclusion that there cannot be a reality and something within it. Because that something within it, if it's not that reality, then it would be something else than it.
I'm sorry, I really don't quite get that.
I'm saying if there is something within the reality, and if that something which is within that reality is not that reality, is not that made out of that reality, is not that reality.
Okay, yeah. So within, let me give an example. Within this reality, there are experiences, perceptions. Let's take that as an example. So there are perceptions.
Yes.
And those perceptions are within this reality.
Yes.
Is that right?
Within this reality.
Okay, so I don't understand. You're saying there can't be anything else within the reality.
So, okay, so in your body, there are organs within your body.
Presumably there are organs in my body. We don't know.
You have the liver, the lungs, stuff, whatever.
Right. We assume that there's stuff in there. Right?
Okay, so we could say, okay, within the body, there are organs. Okay, I don't understand how you would say that there are no separate things outside, in the body. Yes, if you
the organs are an assumption, somehow a lower level of assumption. Like the fact that there's a reality out there, there's stuff out there, is an assumption which I can very easily drop. So the fact there are organs in here, that's something I can sort of drop. But the whole, because I don't have the experience of the organs. In other words, my spleen doesn't hurt.
Yes.
I have no experience of a spleen there.
But you don't have an experience of separate objects. You only have concepts of separate objects. You experience the concepts of a chair and the concept of a bed and the concept of a table and the concept of a bed light.
I agree.
You don't experience a chair. You don't experience a table. You don't have an experience of separate objects.
No, you're right. I agree. Absolutely.
So therefore, when you say that this one reality has within it the body and has within it has conceptually, in your experience conceptually, yes, there is a body, there is a car, you don't experience a car, you experience the concept of the car.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The difference is this: with regard to the car, I could see, okay, look, that's just a concept. I don't actually directly experience a car. But with a body, logically, it's exactly the same, except the body, I have no sensations of the car over there. I can see it, and maybe I can touch it, but most of the time, the car's in the garage. I don't know anything about a car. It's not so present. But the body, the logic that you put out there is exactly right.
Wait. For a car racer who spends 23 hours in the car or with the car and sleeps for 1 hour in the car, maybe sleeps in the car. So therefore, in that case, so are you saying for somebody who lives with the car in the car and spends all his time in the car, then that would be equivalent to your experience of the body?
Yeah, what I'm saying is we would both be making the same mistake. In other words, the guy who spends all his time in the car, he will probably feel so closely associated with that car. This is my car, this is me. I am that car. They are one, okay?
Yes.
Because he's there 23 hours a day.
Yes.
So I'm here with this body all my waking moments.
Yes.
And I'm having these experiences of the body, all these waking moments.
Yes, I understand. Don't worry, it's not going to last forever, okay?
Well, okay.
Sooner or later, that car is going to go, okay?
Well, I hope it will, but,
And you will not, huh?
I hope it will, but I really fear it may not.
Yes, yes.
You know, this is very frustrating. It's been
Right,
years
right.
and
Understand,
years.
understand.
You know, it's, yeah.
Now, in terms of you experience 24/7 the body.
When I'm awake, yes.
Yes, well 24/7 the body.
But you know, that's not true either.
In fact, what you experience 24/7 is awareness.
Yes, you're right. I don't experience the body 24. No, you're right. I don't experience the body all the time.
Because the body appears to you frame by frame.
Yes.
So between one frame and the next frame, there has to be a gap.
Yes. In fact, right now,
experience yourself as a body across the board. You don't. If you experience yourself 24/7 a body, then you would never experience a 10-year-old George and 12-year-old George and a 30-year-old George and a 50-year-old George and a 70-year-old George. It would be just the same freaking George across the board.
No, you're right.
Because you never leave. If you never leave the experience of the body, then you will. It will never change. That experience of the body will never change. The fact that it changes is the proof that what you are saying cannot be true.
You're right. What I'm saying was mistaken, because even now, when I'm talking to you, or if I'm concentrating on something, then I don't have any experience of the body. You know, if I'm watching television, for example, and I'm, you know, really engaged in this program that's going on, at that moment, I have no experience of the body.
Right, you're experiencing the world.
So I experience whatever I'm experiencing, yes.
We experience the body in the same way that we experience the world. At one moment, we are experiencing hunger, so it's the body. Next, we're experiencing a sunset, which is the world. Next, we're experiencing a thought, a creative thought about maybe an artist. So we experience the body, the world, and the mind equally.
Yes.
Equally. Yes. So they are one. You know, the body. Conceptually we separate the body from the world, from the mind. We separate the sun from the ocean, from the tree. And conceptually, we and it's helpful and useful. We separate world, body, mind, objects, and form. But in our experience, it's one.
Yes.
And this one, the reality of this one is consciousness. I don't like to say there is no body, there is no world, there is no mind. I don't say that. I'm saying that the reality of the world, body, mind that we experience is consciousness. At best, the reality of that which we experience is the reality of that which experiences.
Yes. What you say makes perfect sense. I agree with you 100%. Yes.
So coming back to you giving too much importance to certain subset of sensations and thoughts and feelings, and behind that importance that you're giving to certain subsets of thoughts and feelings, behind them is still a low belief in a physical reality. There's still some sort of something is resisting, is saying, well, yeah, I get it, but I don't want to get it. Not I get it and I don't get it. I get it, but I don't want to get it.
I get it, but I'm afraid to get it. Maybe that's
yeah. I mean, that's a nice story. That's a nice story.
I like that story. Okay.
You know, we tell stories to the children to put them to bed, but we also tell ourselves stories to put ourselves to bed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, George. Nice chatting with you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Magdi.
Shiva, salut Shiva.
Ciao. I was just planting this gigantic and I'm hearing this whole thing, and it's totally sorry. It brings up what I noticed on the Sunday tape. This whole thing you were talking about And I wonder if George just picks that up sort of subconsciously, that whole like, you're watching your body like you're watching your car. What is the difference between you watching the car and you watching the body or something? You were talking about that at some point, and where you were going on some like robotic trip. Remember that one from Sunday? And I feel that we are, yeah, you remember, it doesn't matter. I feel this is still all in the realm of didactic or pedagogue, how do you say, pédagogique? You know, when you use something as a tool for people to understand this whole like I am awareness and I'm watching the body. In fact, there is a zero separation between the body and watches it. And I feel sometimes gets lost in these sort of intellectual back and forth about, you know, the body and the mind and the awareness. It is all one.
Yes, yes.
Right. There is no separation. So that which is watching the body is the body and is beyond the body. It's both.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes to initially what you said, but
or nothing at all.
I wouldn't say that which is watching the body is the body. No, I would not say that. I would say yes, that the body and the world, you know, there are not two. Awareness and the body are not two. Yes, I would say that, but I would not say that which is watching the body is the body. That which is.
No, I wanted to say.
Pardon.
That which is watching the body is also the body.
No, I cannot say that.
Why not?
No, that which is watching, that which perceives is I.
Yeah, but what is the difference between I and the body and the world? It's all I.
You know, the difference between the ocean and the wave is that the reality of the wave is the ocean, but the reality of the ocean is not the wave.
Okay, I get that. Fine.
So the difference.
Still, you. Go ahead. Pardon, excuse-moi.
So the difference between the body and consciousness is that the reality of the body is consciousness, but the reality of consciousness is not the body.
No,
in other words,
absolutely.
The reality of the sun, the light flickers on top of the surface of the ocean is the sun, but the reality of the sun is not the reflection on the surface of the ocean. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Je vois ce que tu veux dire, but I say, when you're saying what you're saying, I can still say consciousness can say, I'm also the body, like the ocean can say, I'm also the wave.
No, well, you know.
The ocean cannot say, I'm not the wave.
Right, I understand. The ocean, in fact, you know, doesn't say anything.
Right.
The ocean, when we say, and of course it's all pedagogical, it's all conversation, all of satsang is pedagogical.
Right.
The ocean is silent. And that's the highest teaching, that the highest expression, that you can't just do the highest teaching. I mean, okay, you know, Ramana sometimes did, some other teachers did, but that's not what we are doing. So, you know, the world, body, mind, that which appears is conceptual. We perceive conceptually via feelings and mentation. There isn't a reality apart from consciousness. So when we go from I am a person perceiving the world, I have a body and I have thoughts, we go from that to more and more the understanding about consciousness. And as we go more and more into the understanding about consciousness, the world and the body and all the mind, they they come together. They cease to be separate. They come together as consciousness. They come together as consciousness. Right. So then consciousness says, I am. And then the question may arise, well, what about the world, body, mind? And consciousness says, well, the world, body, mind are my creation. And well, but then the question may arise, well, who's perceiving them? Well, I'm creating them and I'm perceiving them. In fact, consciousness isn't even creating and perceiving. All of it is pedagogical.
Right. I totally get it. I was just, my thing yesterday, maybe this is still part of some like intrinsic conditioning. When I heard the satsang from Sunday, and you were saying, so I know it's totally pedagogical, so it's not about, right or wrong, but the whole thing of the car and the body being on the same level. And I'm feeling like, it's alive. It's not created. It's not like a mechanistic kind of stuff, even though we keep on as humanity constantly mechanizing the physical body, which is the issue we're facing right now, is that we have no concept of the wholeness of our physicality as consciousness. And therefore we make it the sort of sub thing of like mechanistical kind of idea of the physical body in body parts, and like fixing body parts and taking, whatever vaccines in order to fix it and all that kind of stuff. It's something which I feel is a form of separation, So, I mean, I know that the wave is not the ocean. You're 100% clear, but on some level, it feels like there's a merging happening right here of the physicality and consciousness as one. And sometimes it feels like consciousness is expressing itself through physicality, as well as it expresses itself through thoughts or emotions. It's just one. So sometimes I get a little like itchy on the subject of I'm observing, and therefore I'm not whatever I'm observing. Right.
Well, in our experience of physicality, there is the conceptual realm. There is the sensory realm, and there is the conceptual realm. The sensory realm is more less divisive than the conceptual realm. In the sensory realm, there is a more of an intimacy, let's say. It's not so divided. So when the conceptual realm comes into the picture, then our experience gets categorized, gets sort of separated in a way via the conceptual. So when you look at the sensory realm, at the sensory level, before you introduce the conceptual, you do not have the physicality aspect. You just have the sensory. The sensory is almost beyond words, beyond concept. But when you introduce the conceptual, then you experience more. You have the physicality quality that's introduced conceptually into the sensory. You follow what I'm saying? So
I'm totally following it.
Yeah. So in fact, our experience is an experience of melting or sweetness or intimacy, or so intimate that you cannot distinguish it. You cannot distinguish it. But we need the conceptual. We introduce the conceptual for other purposes, for the functioning in the social aspect, etc. And so then it's a different, then we have that that categorization. But so the path of understanding is to understand that although the conceptual has its function and its role, it does not refer to an actual actual objects in that we are experiencing from in that doesn't refer to consciousness experiencing something called a tree or something called a mango, or it's not like that. The experience is even more intimate than that. In other words, you can't even use the word mango without introducing the conceptual, which is no problem. I mean, we need to introduce the conceptual mango so we can know what we are talking about. But we never really experience a mango. We experience beyond words something that we cannot put in words, which is consciousness.
Go, mango, go. It's not, you know, the thing is, it's so beautiful because I'm actually coming, as you know, from a long tradition of Jnani, of the you know, conceptual and understanding and mind, and it's such a deep dive into the bhakti right now, and then sometimes it feels like the whole jnana kind of like, yeah, I'm that, but not this and not that, and I'm observing, and therefore I am not, I'm observing, is not computing anymore in my system, because my system is in this sort of bhakti bliss where everything is perceived as one, and what is perceiving is what is perceived, and it's really like so beautiful. So
I mean, both
thank you. I just wanted to,
yeah, I mean, both paths, you know, they join, but there is the conceptual aspect that needs to come to some understanding, and of course, because that's a resistance. There is a conceptual resistance, and there's also an emotive resistance that, you know, that about the feelings. So both paths, they meet at some time. Maybe they're always meeting, you know, it's like it's never fully one or fully the other. But yes, at some point they come together in the love and the understanding. So love and understanding, the beauty, the love and the understanding, they come as one. They're one, really. They're one. Ok, Siva.
merci, je t'aime.
Ok, aussi, Siva. À bientôt.
Hello.
Hello, Holly.
Hi, how are you?
Good, lovely to see you, Holly.
Good to see you too. So I am at my parents'. I'm visiting, and I'm happy to be here, happy to see them. They're both suffering quite a bit. They're carrying a lot of pain and misery from years, and there seems to be no end in sight. And I knew that coming out here. It's not a surprise. And my main goal in being here is to enjoy spending time with them. And but it's also a fact that I'm a very sensitive person, and I still have an identity about being a good daughter and being helpful and trying to improve their situation. But of course, my higher goal is to understand truth and come closer to truth. So I just wondered if you have anything.
Italy. So, you know, we are daughters and sons at a certain cost. The cost that we pay to be a daughter and a son. And you know, commonly in ignorance, we pull those strings, you know, with our children and the children with their parents. We know which strings to pull, and that starts at a very, very young age. It's not like there is any particular strategy that you or your parents are doing now. We're all parents and children. They relate from early on a mixture of love and then conditions, you know, conditions and psychological, the whole psychology that takes place between the children and the parents and the parents and the children. Now, in terms of the suffering is part of our the play of consciousness, the way consciousness calls us to itself is in part via suffering, via unhappiness, via disappointments, via loss, via the sense of isolation, via meaninglessness. It is the lot of all 7 billion human beings, including your parents, including my parents, including your children, including my children, etc., including the whole, you know, all the children, all the parents. And of course, you know, we're all trying to find our way to happiness. All of us, your parents, my parents, everybody's trying to find a way to happiness. Do we know the way? As a society, I would say no, because look around you, you know, it's a pretty sad state of affair, the planet, how we treat animals, how we treat each other, in the families, at work, etc., in the politics. So we are failing overall, we are failing in our success at happiness. What can we do about it? You know, we keep trying, and everybody is trying. So at some time we realize, oh, it's not out there. It's not in the body. It's not in an experience. It's not in a situation. It's not in a feeling. It's not in money. It's not in a relationship. It's not in a relationship with my children. It's not in a relationship with my parents. It's not there. I realize, sooner or later, realize it's not there. It's not my relationship with my partner. No, it's not there. So, with your parents, you know, you love them. We love them. Why? Because we are love. We are love. We love to love. And we don't love not to love. So we love because that's what we really, You know, love, it's hidden in everything we do. There is love, it's hidden. We love our parents. Loving our parents, what does it mean? You know, we don't know. We don't know how it appears, how it manifests to you. We don't know because we don't know the next moment. We don't have a crystal ball. But we know that we love. We know the love, and the love is within us. It's within us, and because it is within us, it expresses itself. It expresses itself through us more when we are aligned with the universe. When we are aligned with the universe. The universe appears in so many ways. You know, it's not pink. It's not like this peach color. You know, no. The universe appears each moment in so many different ways. So we align ourselves with the universe. The way we align ourselves with the universe is that we are open. We are open means that we don't separate ourselves from what's happening, and to separate ourselves from what is happening is by believing yourself to be a daughter, a son, a mother, a father, a person. Yes, the body is female daughter. All female bodies are daughters, all male bodies are sons. And okay, you know. So yes, that applies to the body. But you are this awareness. You are consciousness. You are the love. Not the love for your father, for your mother, you're the love, period. The love shines. When we realize that's what we are, we're not blocking it. We block the love when we are a person. Then what's good for me? What's good for blah, 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 you know. But when we go to that which we are, then the love is, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. The love is just shining simply by the recognition of your being. Now, of course, with your parents, you have a lot of empathy for them, sympathy for them, care for them. It's beautiful. It's part of it. Now you're close to them. You're close to their life, their aches, their worries, their troubles, their concerns. So because you are close, you're transparent, you sense that. But don't hold it. You don't hold it. You sense it because you're close to it. Like when you're close to the fire, you feel the warmth. When you close to the ocean, you hear the ocean, you feel the ocean, you smell the ocean. It's like that. But you don't define yourself in any way via what you are experiencing. You allow whatever you're experiencing to just appear to you, and you feel it. You know, you feel it because yes, we are sensitive. We are the sensitivity. We feel the troubles, the concerns, the angst of our parents when we are with them. We feel that. And just to feel it is sufficient. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to fix anything. Everything is being fixed. The universe is not making mistakes. There are no errors in the universe. Only the error is in our conceptual mind, this and that, you know, in what we imagine, what we believe, what we dissect, how we divide things, how we classify things, you know. It's a sort of play. When we were kids, we used to create all these games, and if you do this, you win. If you do that, you lose, and you get more of the yellow ones, you know. All this at the mental level. It's just a play. In fact, there are no problems. Your parents are in God's arms, in God's hands. They are God's creation. They are not a mistake. What they're experiencing is not a mistake. They're experiencing whatever, even the unhappy things that they're experiencing is meant for them to experience that, even at, you know, at any age. It's meant to experience that. It has a reason and a purpose and a point to be made, to be for them. You being with them, you're with them as the love, as the presence, as if they need any help, you help. But you do not perceive a problem. You know, there can be a situation. It's different from a problem. There can be a situation when you need to do something, but it's not a problem. A problem, we feel it. We feel, oh, it's a problem. You know, a situation. Then we are busy with the situation. What do I need to do? Oh my goodness, this broke, this fell, this, you know, whatever. You know. Even in the psychological, we experiencing a situation, not within us. We experience somebody having a psychological situation, not a problem. So when we don't perceive a problem, we are not a problem ourselves. We're not part of a problem. To be a problem solver is to be part of a problem. You know what I mean? As a problem solver, you know, a problem is a problem solver. The problem solver is part of the is part of the problem. And the problem sufferer is part of the problem. The whole thing is the problem charade, you know. But I don't mean to say to be light-hearted about it. Of course, you know, we do perceive, you know, some negative emotions, but it is part of our journey. You know, it's part of the parents' journey, and so with your parents, as best as you can, you share the happiness, you share the presence. You don't fall into the game, you know. Okay. Yeah. Because the path, your path, is not about being a daughter, but your path is in a much different direction, and so you don't want to spin around being a daughter for too long, a good daughter or a better daughter. Yeah. Or you don't want to spend that. And your parents have the same goal as you, not of being parents, but the directions to God, see. But every person has their spin, you know, at some point, you know, is spinning around being a father, being a mother, and at some point it will change. They will come to spinning around God, around truth. And don't worry so much about life and death. You know, life and death are like a blink of the eye. You know, so we make a big deal about life and death. Oh, 8 years, 9 years, 100 years is a blink. Just a blink. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with the appearances and disappearances. The whole journey is about consciousness, and consciousness is eternal. So I don't know, I remember with my mom somehow at some point in my life when she was much older, I started perceiving a lot of humor about her way, you know. I would laugh a lot about her ways, you know. I would not mock, but I would play with her about, you know, her ways, you know. And somehow, I don't know, she got into the humor of it. This may not apply to everybody, but I remember we used to, in her old days, we used to joke a lot and laugh a lot about our ways, who we are and how we are. And, you know, what they say, some people say that you want to know how realized you are, go spend a week with your parents. Or
Yeah, I know that one.
yes, right.
Not that that's an actual test or something, but in some ways it does feel a little lighter even now, you know. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, who would want to spend, you know, so much time with their parents, you know? I don't know. Maybe some people would, but I don't know. Not me. I mean, even with my children, I just, yeah, it's life likes to change and move and flow, you know. So yeah, things get lighter, but at the same time, you know, after a few days, it's time for you to go to your, you know, go back to your.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, the mind is like a broken record. It keeps repeating, you know, repeating something. And something else about the mind is as if it cannot stay silent. The enjoyment of silence. Yeah. You know, sometimes people, when they are together, they're uncomfortable when there is some silence. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's just. And also, like parents, sometimes they set up a psychological relationship that they maintain with their children over the years. You know, some guilt or blames, or I don't know, some things, you know, that they hold something. So we get into this psychological, it could be subliminal, you know, relationship when we are with our parents. But all of that we need to let it go. It's not meaningful in any way. Freedom from being a son, a daughter, and freedom from being a parent. Freedom from any identification. I mean, we can play the game of being a daughter, but not the identification. So then that's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
We are all the sons and daughters of consciousness. How about that?
Well, it's so nice to see you, Magdi. I'm glad I could make it today.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Holly.
Yeah.
Okay. You must be you're in Colorado or?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, yes, Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Is it
very
winter?
Or? It's fall. It's very beautiful, and it's warmer than usual. So we've been enjoying nice walks, and all the cottonwoods are yellow, and
oh, great.
there's pea flock that lives in the neighborhood and spends a lot of time at my parents' house. So there's like peacocks wandering around, and it's very lovely.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Sounds
So,
good. Yeah, sounds
yeah.
good. Enjoy. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
Harvey.
Okay. All
Beautiful.
right.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I saw somebody with a hand up. Was there somebody with a hand? Andrew. Andrew, did you? Hey, Andrew.
Hi, yes, yes, I did.
Hi.
Yeah,
Andrew.
I had my hand up.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. And lovely to see you.
To
Yes.
see you too.
Yes.
I had a kind of a similar question actually, or has some similarities with the last one. I for the past I know we haven't spoken in a while, but for the past like 2 months or so, I've been occasionally feeling like I'm going to die. Feel like an impending egoic death. And for, I guess because of that, my mind's going crazy.
Mm.
I have very extreme OCD. It's sort of out of control. In the past 2 days, past 3 days, I think, usually the first hour or two in the morning, it'll feel as my conceptual world is disappearing, never existed. And it's scary at times, but I sense I see the peace in it because I don't identify with any of the thought patterns that I've been very strongly identified with. The hardest thing, it seems, that makes me the most afraid at this point is the realization that if I'm in a room alone, people don't exist as I once thought them to exist. They're sort of just in a memory. And the hardest part about that is the idea of my parents not being the solid physical, people. I don't want to call them objects, but people that exist physically in the world. That seems to be the thing that generates the most fear. I don't know if you have like a certain perspective you can lend towards how to see through that illusion.
Yes.
Or with the fear.
Yes. Now, although you're not in the same room with your dad and mom, if somehow I know where they are and I go to them and I pinch them, they are going to go ouch. So, you will not know anything about me pinching them and them going ouch, but the fact is that they will. And I can film that. I can take a film of that, and I can send you the film, the video, and you will realize, oh my God, yes, they are. It's true, they are out there, and and Magdi is pinching them, and they're going ouch. So the fact that you are not experiencing, your mom and dad and other people is not a demonstration that they are not real.
Yeah.
It's only a demonstration that they are not appearing to you, to your particular mind in this moment. You're not experiencing them in this moment. So the way to think about your parents or other people is that they are real. And I don't know where from you picked up that they are not real. They are real, but their reality is not separate from your reality.
Yeah. No, I know that they're real. I didn't mean that I think they're not real. It's just that what their reality was is sort of seems to, it's seen as that's not what their reality was. This is what their reality was. I don't know, something about like where I used to believe that they, you know, that there's an outside world, I suppose. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Andrew, there is an outside world.
Yeah, I know that's not correct.
Okay.
I mean that. I don't know, going from like physical to something about the perspective shift just scares that crap out of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there is a reality right now, a reality to your experience, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Does that scare you?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. And you're open to the understanding that everything that appears disappears, are you?
Yes.
Everything that appears disappears. The thought that you had a second ago, the perception you had a second ago, the appears and disappears. The body, the 10-year-old body that was 10-year-old boy that was Andrew appeared and disappeared. Then 10-year-old plus 1 second, 10-year-old plus 2 seconds. All of this is appearing and disappearing, right? Whatever appears disappears. That's the fact. That's our experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever appears disappears. So reality does not appear or disappear. Are you on board with that?
Yes, I see through what you're saying that I'm reflecting. I see that I'm only attached to the concepts.
Well, a concept is a mental representation.
Right.
And mental representations they also appear and disappear, but they're just mental representations. There's no problem with them. They're just, we have the capacity of conceptualizing, and concepts are part of what the human brain is capable of putting together. So, but the concept is not the thing. Okay, the concept table is not the table. Okay, now reality is a concept, but it's also an experience. Okay, the concept reality is an experience. The concept of reality refers to itself, refers to reality. It's a concept that refers to itself. The table is a concept, but it doesn't refer to itself. A table does not refer to itself. Only consciousness, only reality refers to itself. So whatever does not refer to itself is referred to by consciousness. You meaning you consciousness, refer to something that does not refer to itself. So the reality of that which you refer to is you. Anyways, maybe I'm going on a tangent here. Let me come back to everything that appears disappears. So whatever is real can neither appear nor disappear. It doesn't decay. It doesn't appear or disappear. So if we understand that, then we can allow whatever is appearing to disappear, because it's doing it anyways. And we simply recognize that which neither appears nor disappears is real. And your experience right now, the reality of your experience is that which is perceiving right now. It's not Andrew. It's not Andrew's thoughts. It's not Andrew's feelings. It's not Andrew's, you know. That which perceives right now is the reality of consciousness. There is a reality right now that perceives. You're okay with that?
Yes.
And this reality which perceives is I. Not Andrew, not Andrew. I'm not talking about Andrew. I'm not talking about the body. I'm not talking about the male body, you know, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I. That which perceives right now is I. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And this I that perceives is real right now. It's very real, absolutely real. The body is a sensation or an appearance or a thought or an image. It's like, yes? Like,
yes.
for example, the sensation, right now you're itching, so there is a body itch, you know. It's a sensation, which appears to I. I perceive the sensation and I scratch my neck. I perceive the sensation and I direct the body to scratch. The body doesn't have a direction of its own. A robot doesn't function on its own. It's programmed. It has a battery also, which allows it to operate, to function. The body is in the same way. The body is a very sophisticated robot. It doesn't function of its own. It is a tool, an instrument for perception, right now for communication. But that which perceives is not the body. It's not like you say, oh yes, Magdi, my ears hear you. No, you say, yes, I hear you. I hear you. I hear. Not my ears hear. We don't say, oh, my eyes perceive you. No, we say, I perceive you. And it's not because we are stupid. No, we say, I perceive because we are I, because we know I, we are I. I doesn't refer to the body. I don't say, my mouth and my tongue and my vocal cords are speaking to you right now. I'm speaking. I. What is the I that right now is perceiving? Because it's absolutely certain that I'm perceiving. There's no doubt about that. What is it that's perceiving right now? I. I what? I don't know, just I. I don't know, I what? I what? I mean, we use the word consciousness, but heck, it's just a word. It's referring to reality, the reality of perceiving. I don't know, whatever I is, I'm perceiving. Is I limited to perceiving? No, I am not limited to perceiving. The body is limited to, because the body is limited. The body can only perceive 100 yards. It cannot perceive 2 miles away. The limitations of the body don't refer to I. Right? The limitations of the body do not refer to I, my limitations. I am not limited. If you use a binocular to watch the birds, you have a 10x or a 15x or 8x, magnification. The binoculars are limited by their magnification. Yes. And 8x cannot perceive as far or as close as the 10x. But I, the perceiver, that the bird watcher, is not limited by the binoculars. The binoculars are limited. I am limitless. So if you contemplate that your reality, you're not I am Andrew. Andrew is an event that you perceive. You perceive Andrew. Your parents, you also perceive them. Their reality, the reality of the body, the reality of your parents, the reality of the world, is I consciousness. So if you are having some confusion about what your experience is in terms of what is real or what isn't real, I don't know, that's how somehow I feel this, the question behind your question, then you need to refer to your direct experience, not your thinking, and not your feeling, not what appears to you, not the mind states that appear to you. The mind states that appear to you are appearances. You are not a mind state. You cannot deny I, but you cannot describe I. I can describe you my car, I can describe to you my house, I can describe to you my body, I can describe to you various things, but I cannot describe to you that which perceives. So mind states appear to you. What appears to you does not define you. Except if you want it to define you. If you want to be defined by that which appears to you, you can say, oh my God, I had a bad dream. I felt like a wolf is running after me and I'm going to spend the rest of my days scared. It's your freedom. That which appears to you does not define you. This does not mean that you are going to ignore that which appears to you. If something appears to you, like somebody's coming with a stick at you, you're going to run. Meaning you're going to make the body run. You run, meaning because you still manage the body, you take care of the body. It's your business to take care of the body. You take care of the body. Why? Because it's there. Yeah, it's there. So take care of the body. You take care of it. Like your car, oh, your car, you know, somebody gifted you a car, you take care of it. It's there. You take care of it. You're not going to identify with it. You're not going to freak out about it because, you know, something is happening into the body. No, you take care of it the best you can. Same thing with your mind. You know, sometimes you're too tired, you need to sleep, you know, you rest. Sometimes you work too much, your mind is spinning, you take a break. There are some foods that may affect you, will affect your, you know, your temperament, you avoid them. you're managing the body-mind. But the fact that you're managing the body-mind doesn't mean that you are the body-mind. You see? So when you're experiencing certain mind states, okay, you manage those mind states, but you don't identify with them. You do whatever you can with the body-mind, with the world body-mind. But you understand that the world body-mind is doomed. Yeah, it's a matter of time, right? Okay. But in the meantime, here we are, we enjoy, we take care of it. Sooner or later, the body will start to, fall apart. At some point, we'll let it go, right? I mean, but I'm drifting maybe away from I want to make sure I haven't missed your question, Andrew.
No, you haven't. I like, the analogies you gave are good, and they help. It's it's sort of just, especially when you were talking about how like the car, and I'm just getting too attached to the I guess being a son and one's parents are such a huge part of one's egoic identity that when I see through that, there's fear. But I think it's just a matter of time before that settles down and I can let that go too.
It's a fear about losing your parents, or?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Just the realization that about what the reality of my parents are, I guess you can say, brings up fear. And so, that's all.
The reality of your parents is your reality, which is consciousness.
Right.
There's nothing scary.
Yeah, I know. It's just like the reality of anything else. It's just that part of it.
Yeah, the fact that the reality of your parents is your reality and it is consciousness doesn't mean that your mom and your dad aren't also, the characters that they are, that you can enjoy, that you can talk with, and you can play with, you can go for a walk with, you can have dinner with,
Yeah.
That's, right. The fact that reality is infinite and invisible doesn't mean that we're going to be pulled out of the dream just because we have an understanding about consciousness. Doesn't mean that, I can no longer talk with Andrew because I'm consciousness and Andrew consciousness doesn't talk. No, there's still this interaction, although your reality is infinite invisible and my reality is the same as yours, infinite invisible consciousness, still there is a conversation. There's still creativity, there's still creation, which is a celebration, a form of celebration. So you can celebrate your parents because we are sharing the same dream,
right?
And the dream of consciousness, which is a sweet dream once we understand that there is nothing at stake. As consciousness, there is nothing at stake. Bodies and mind appear and disappear every day. In fact, where is the 12-year-old Andrew?
Only in thought.
And where is my 30-year-old dad? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In spite of the fact that the 12-year-old Andrew and the 30-year-old dad are not there, have disappeared, I still can enjoy, this interaction with my dad, with my mom, with you, with my neighbor. It's not that the understanding about consciousness sort of make turns your brain and your mind into mashed potato, you know? It doesn't. Yes, in fact, it has the opposite effect in that it actually brightens your, the dream, your understanding and your interactions. You don't need to believe in physical reality in order to have an interaction. I don't need to know that you are made out of flesh and bones. That's your reality in order to have a conversation with you. No, I can have a beautiful conversation with you, knowing that you are this very awareness, the same whateverness, whatever.
I think that was the core of it. I think you just hit on that. It's somewhere in my mind. I believe that knowing that your awareness can't have the same interaction, but that's nonsense.
Yes,
it's not.
Absolutely. Here we are right now. This is a good example of it. Here we are as awareness. We're having a wonderful conversation.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Andrew. Nice to see you. Okay.
You too.
Okay. Okay, well, okay. Thank you all. Lovely to be with you, Fernando. Nice to see you, Fernando, and Grace, George, Holger, Andrew, and Shiva. Thank you all.